Hey guys, and welcome to the first TylerNJazz QNA video, and this is to celebrate 500 subscribers. So let's get right into it. Insane the Rain Music asks, which professional jazz musicians would you cite as your biggest influences? Definitely, recently at least, Snarky Puppy and Jacob Collier are my two main influences, which you could probably hear by like most of my music. But for playing, probably my favorite jazz trumpet player of all time is Clifford Brown, because I think his solos are the most tasteful in my opinion. He also asks, what life event would you cite to be the reasons you got into jazz? My town is sort of known for the jazz program we have at our schools. So my middle school has a jazz band. When I first started playing trumpet in like 5th grade, I pretty much hated it, and then I took lessons with this guy who has passed away since then. But he really got me into jazz, and after that I joined my school's jazz band in 7th grade. As second trumpet, and then I was lead trumpet in it last year. His final question is, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about making YouTube videos? My favorite thing is probably once it's all done. I mean, that sounds like I hate doing it, but I like seeing the final product pretty much. And my least favorite part is probably video editing, just because my computer is pretty bad. I mean, you look and you think it's pretty good because it's a desktop Mac, but it's from like 10 years ago. So it used to be our family's computer, but then I got it. It's pretty bad. Another one of my favorite things in the process is arranging. SladJKF asks, what is your arrangement and production process? How and where do you get ideas for new covers? This is probably pretty obvious by listening to my music, but most of my covers have like a tune or a song that's by a professional jazz musician. Like I said earlier, like Snarky Puppy. Like a good example of this is my Tomorrow Is Mine cover. That was inspired by the Pat Metheny tune Beat 70, and you could hear like the groove is pretty similar, and the solo section is in the same order, stuff like that. The instrumentation with the melodica. Another example is the Terraria underground theme really reminded me of the beatbox from Colcha Volcha, and like it's surprising how similar they are. Even the chord progression in the second half is exactly the same chord progression as in the underground theme. So you could definitely hear the influence there. Gabe Ocarina 96 says, congrats dude. Thanks Gabe. Who would you consider to be your favorite composer? Name a few if it's too hard to choose. I know I've mentioned the band like twice already, but Michael League, who's the composer for almost all of Snarky Puppy stuff, is one of my favorite composers just because he uses a lot of the techniques that I really like different chord progressions and stuff like that, different things that just resonate with me well. It's hard to describe, but a lot of his compositions are just some of my favorite music to listen to. If I were to have to say someone who isn't a jazz or fusion composer, I would probably say Claude Debussy, I don't know how you pronounce it, just because a lot of his music, I think in my opinion, is some of the most emotional music of its time. Like the tune Clair de Lune is one of my favorite classical pieces. Although it's not technically classical, it's romantic, but in that genre. Christian Richardson says, how does it feel to be the youngest VGMer on the planet? I'm not technically the youngest VGMer. There are people who are younger than I am who do like covers and remixes and stuff like that, but for the kind of stuff that I do, like jazz arrangements, I think I'm the youngest. In case you were wondering, I just graduated 8th grade, so I'm 14 right now. But how does it feel to be the youngest? Yeah. Andrew S. says, do you plan to have your music be a career, or is it just a hobby for now? Maybe address college college major plans. Like I just said, I'm just going into high school right now in like a week, so it'd be awesome if it was a career in the future. But right now, I'm just doing it for fun because I still have like 4 years till I go to college. I'd love to go to school for college. I don't know if that will be in our budget, but hopefully. Ro Panaganti says, what would be your biggest goal right now? Like an album you want to make or other achievement? I'm actually working on an album right now, but it won't be out for a long time because it has a lot of tracks in it. It's of a game that I have covered before on my channel, and I will do a lot more arrangements in the future of the tunes, so look out for that. As for achievements that I want to do, I'm working on something sort of cool right now, but I'm not going to announce it yet, but also stay tuned for that too. Eric L says, when and how did you start learning to play instruments that aren't trumpet? Is there one that you find particularly difficult? As I said before, I started playing trumpet in 5th grade. Before that, I played viola for a year in 4th grade because you had to play a string instrument instead of like a wind instrument. But I played trumpet for like 2 years, and then the summer before 8th grade, so that's a year ago from like, that's like a year and a few months ago, is when I started taking piano lessons. And even for like most of my year 1, I didn't actually record most of my piano parts. I just like programmed most of them and then fake played it, as you could probably tell from the videos because they're pretty bad. But in year 2, I've played all my piano parts because it's way better that way, and it's just easier. But as for the other instruments, I practice French horn a little bit just because I like the sound of the French horn a lot, and I'm actually decent at French horn. I've just never showed off the skills in one of my videos. Trombone, I'm not very good at, and I hope to get better at. Don't look at any of my videos with trombone from year 1. For bass and guitar, I personally think I'm better at bass than I am guitar, but I'm not like a really good bass player or anything. I've been practicing sort of a lot for the past few weeks, or like couple of months, but I'm not a good bass player yet. I'm just meh. Spencer Weaver asks, if you didn't play trumpet as your main instrument, what else would it have been? If you're asking what instrument I would have chose like now, if I could go back in time and change, I would probably either choose French horn or one of the saxes, maybe bari sax. I would choose French horn just because, in my opinion, it's a lot harder than trumpet, so you get more skill by playing that instrument. But on the other hand, trumpet gives you more range, so it's a lot easier to play the high notes on French horn if you switch. The reason I would choose a sax also is just because if you can play one sax, you could probably learn to play the other woodwind instruments a lot easier. Because if I were to learn like alto sax right now, I'd be pretty terrible at it. But if I already played like bari or tenor before that, it probably wouldn't be too hard, just knowing from my friends who play multiple saxes. Shadow Chords asks, what would you recommend to people who want to start doing jazz covers and for people who want to be multi-instrumentalists? An example, piano, bass, guitar. Something I do that I think has really helped me play other instruments like piano and bass is, if you're just listening to music or not doing anything at the moment, then just like pick up an instrument, like pick up your bass and just start, I'm not going to play right now, but just start playing along, or start trying to play along, because that will help you get a better ear for listening, for arranging and composing. Trying to play things that you're listening on other instruments, in my opinion, just helps you figure out where things are on the instrument better, and you familiarize yourself with the sound of the instrument and just where things are and how to play them. Oh, and also just practice them regularly if you want to get good. Like, I do not practice piano enough as I should, and I'm not really that good at it. To answer your other question about starting jazz covers, find out what you like about a song and what you don't like about a song, and try to make the things you like about a song more prevalent in your arrangement, and the things you don't like about it, try to make them better. So like if there's one chord in a song that you don't like, then change it to a different chord that you do like. That's some of the things that I do with my arrangements. And I mean, honestly, if you just do that for any song, then you're already arranging. I don't know if that's good advice, but that's what I do. Video Games G33K asks, besides your covers, where else do you play trumpet? Do you play in a band or on events or something of the sort? Like I said before, I played in my middle school band, and next year I'm going to be playing in my high school jazz band. But other than that, I sometimes play at like local jazz clubs and stuff just for fun. But I'm not really like in a band or something, at least yet. But something might happen in the future, but I will, if it ends up being cool, I will share it. He also asks, which are your favorite jazz subgenres and why? Fusion. Joa Nanel. Okay. Noah Johnell, I hope I pronounced your name right, asks, was it hard starting out on YouTube for you? Arranging was really hard for my first few covers, or first like few months of covers, honestly. Like if you look back to my first couple of covers, a few of them are like pretty much just rip-offs of Insane Rain Music covers. I'm not gonna link them because they're pretty bad. I think I unlisted them, but they're still in the playlist if you like really want to watch them for some reason. But arranging was the hardest thing, and obviously mixing, because I knew nothing about mixing. I didn't even use a reverb at all, like for the first month of my covers until my friend Nick Wu told me to. And those are all the questions I will be answering in this Q&A. Hopefully I'll do one next week, just because I have a ton more on YouTube and Instagram, so I'll get to those in different episodes. And sorry there was no upload today, but I just got back from vacation, so I will upload a new arrangement next week, and I hope you guys will like it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you liked the Q&A video. I'll see you guys next week with a new arrangement.